We're travelling downriver. I just need to give our new passengers a quick safety announcement to tell you the boat is licensed by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. It's equipped with a full complement of life rings, life rafts and life jackets. All of our emergency equipment and emergency exits are clearly marked with the green and cream signs. In the very unlikely event of an emergency, you will be told how to proceed by a member of the crew. On the journey, I'm pointing out a few places of interest, but I will warn our new passengers, we're not official tour guides on these boats, but only the crew of the boat. I like to point out places of interest, make the trip a little bit more interesting. When I make a mistake or get a bit lost, do bear with me. Now we're about to pass through Waterloo Bridge, which is affectionately known as the Ladies' Bridge, because it was built by the Women's Land Army during the Second World War. The ladies built the longest bridge in central London, just under a quarter of a mile. It's also one of the only bridges in central London to have been built on time and on budget. So well done. Through the bridge on the left is Somerset House in Green Road. Somerset House was built by William Chambers in 1776. It was home to the registrar for births, marriages and deaths. They had a curious nickname in our civil service. They were known as the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham Department. They eventually moved out and the Inland Revenue moved in. They became the Matcham Department instead. Also on our left, ahead of us, we've got a large white ship with yellow funnel, and that's HQS Wellington. She escorted merchant ships during the Second World War, and in 1948 she was moved to Victoria Embankment to become the livery hall for the Honourable Company of Master Mariners. She was basically a drinking club for retired sea captains. Behind the Wellington, we have a stone archway with the face of Father Thames. There were also two silver dragons. There's one on either side of the boat. That's Temple Stairs Arch, the western boundary of the City of London that we're about to enter, and the City of Westminster that we're about to leave. Now, the City of London is one of the smallest capital cities in the world, only 1 square mile. Usually, we have over 77,000 people working in the City of London. It's only home to around 9,000 residents. In fact, so few people live within the City of London that the 20,000 businesses all get a vote as well. Now, all along our left here, we have Victoria Embankment. The embankment was built by Joseph Bazalgette in 1868. The Victorians encroached on the river. They reclaimed 30 acres of the muddy shore. When they built the embankment, they incorporated the sewer system that we still use today, and they built the tunnels for the Metropolitan Railway, the Underground as well. On to our right, there's a red brick building with a tower on top. This is Stamford Hall. It's locally known as the Oxo Tower. That building was a coal store for the Oxo Company. When they had it designed, it was illegal to advertise along the River Thames unless your company worked with boats. Now, because Oxo makes slop cubes, they have nothing to do with boats. They were taken to court. And they argued that it was merely a coincidence that the windows up on their towers spelled their company name, Oxo. Surprisingly, the judge actually agreed with them. They've had over 90 years of free advertising ever since. I think they got away with a technicality. Something about crazy boats. Now on our left is a building of a sloped roof and a black spirit. That's the old City of London School for Boys. It's where they educated many of our former MPs and Prime Ministers. Now despite that, they do say that it was a good school. Winston Churchill spent 2 weeks over there before he was expelled for fighting. Blackfriars Group of Bridges. And the first bridge is Blackfriars Road Bridge. It was built in the request of Queen Victoria to commemorate a Dominican monastery that stood over on the left. The monks at that monastery wore black habits. That's where we get the name Blackfriars. This is the widest road bridge in central London. Its opening ceremony in 1869 was Queen Victoria's first public engagement after the death of a loving consort. Now, the next bridge, Blackfriars Railway Bridge, is built by the Lord family and Henry Mark Brunel, son of Edinburgh, England Brunel. This bridge replaced the old London to Chatham and Dover Railway. That was taken away. The red columns on either side are the names. If they took the red columns away, it would undermine their welcome to the other. Through the bridge on to the left is the magnificent dome of St Paul's Cathedral. St Paul's was designed by Sir Christopher Wren, and it stands 365 feet high. It has the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world. The largest is on St Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. Now, despite that, the foundations at St Paul's are only around 4.5 feet deep. To the right of the boat is the old Bankside Power Station. That closed due to the escalating price of oil, and it's now home to the Tate Modern, the largest collection of modern art in the world. The bridge ahead of the boat is the Millennium Bridge, locally known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. It was opened by our late Queen in the Millennium year, and it was closed by the police because it wobbled quite violently. They had to close this bridge for 2 years, while they spent millions of pounds dewobblising it just to make it safe. Through the bridge on the right is a white building of a thatched roof, and that's a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It was the idea of Sam Wanamaker, an American film producer and director. You could see Shakespearean plays performed over there in period dress and costume, only £5. That's excellent value for live entertainment here in London. As we pass through this bridge, you just make a brief stop on the right at Bankside Pier, just to pick up a few more people. If anybody wants to leave us at Bankside, do just make sure you've got all of your personal items and belongings. It's only a brief stop, and then we continue our journey to Tower and Westminster.